Happiness is free, y'all. You all need to be happy, okay? Be happy for the gifts of life. Be happy because I am super duper happy today. Today's video is all about highlight and contouring. So if you're a beginner or somebody who wants to master the art of highlight and contouring when it comes to your makeup, get you a good seat, make yourself comfortable, watch this video to the end. But before we do all of that, you all know you have to support your girl, right? Please join the Jacque-Belle's family by hitting the subscribe button down below and also hit the bell. That way you'll never miss another video from me again. So like I mentioned earlier, today's video is just gonna be all about highlight and contouring. And of course, you know, you cannot just jump into your highlight and contouring without like starting from the base, like your primer, foundation and stuff. So I'm gonna be using my primer today to prime my face first. And I'm gonna be using this poreless primer too from e.l.f. to kind of like feel my pores, because my pores have been getting super visible. So I'm using this like the pore filler to kind of like minimize my pores a little bit. So I'm just using that only on my cheeks. And of course for my foundation, I'm using one of my most preferred foundation from MAC, and the shade is NC55. So y'all know I'm obsessed with this foundation because it is the bomb. It's lightweight, it gives you a matte finish, and I mean just everything you can think of a foundation, this foundation has it. So today I want to use my beauty blender, and it's not damp enough, so I'm gonna use my spray to just make it a little bit damp before I can use it, because your makeup is gonna be better when your beauty blender is damp. I feel like my camera is not bright enough today. That's what I'm looking back and forth y'all from. Alright guys, so for my highlights, I'm gonna be using my concealer from L'Oreal Paris. If you remember from my previous video, when you're doing like a highlight, you want to use a concealer that's like 3 to 4 shades lighter than your skin tone or whatever the foundation you're wearing is, to give you that actual highlight if you're not concealing. So whenever you're concealing is when you want to use a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin. But if you're going like for a full highlight, you want to use a concealer that has 3 to 4 shades lighter than your skin. So I'm using this concealer from L'Oreal Paris to highlight, and because this concealer is super, I don't know how to say it. It's really, really effective. So I'm just doing a little bit. I'm not doing too much of it. So before I blend this out, I'm gonna start with my contouring. So basically what I'm doing right now is bringing back features into my face. Because if you watch my previous video on foundation tips, you notice whenever you apply your foundation, your face is flat. It has just one tone and one definition. But even without makeup, your face is not like that. Like the outer portion of your face turns to be darker than the inner portion, which is basically your T-zone. Thus, your T-zone area is lighter than the outer portion of your face. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know if there's a better way to explain that, but if you take a close look at your face without makeup, you'll notice that the outer portion of your face turns to be darker than the inner portion of your face. So that's what we're doing right now. So because whenever you apply your foundation, it steals those features, they disappears. So in as much as we're doing makeup, we still want to look natural as possible. I know that's kind of like I mean, it sounds like an impossibility, but that's what you want to do. So after applying your, I know sometimes you really don't want to go for the full makeup, which that's fine, but I mean, if you really want to do your highlight and contouring, you have to remember that you're just bringing back those features into your face that you were stolen by your foundation after you apply them. So I'm gonna let this concealer sit for a little bit and then do my contour. So for my contour today, I'm using my foundation stick from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade F. I've used this a lot. So you remember the contouring technique. You want to do it like directly underneath your cheekbones, or you just look at the top of your ears and then just bring it down. So and bring it all the way to your forehead. And do your nose as well. And depending on your preference and your skin type, you want to use a contour that is like 1 or 2 shades darker than your browns if you were bronzing. So now that I have this contour right here, I can use whatever I want to use. So you have the preference. You can either use a brush, a beauty blender to do this, but for me, I like to always blend in my concealer and my contour with a beauty blender. So next I'm gonna blend in my concealer. So you all can see how I brought back my features. The inner portion of my face is lighter and then the outer portion is darker. So that's what we do when we highlight and contour. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my concealer in place as always with my loose powder, and I'm using this my setting powder from the beauty supply store in the shade Banana to set my concealer in place. Of course, you want to make sure you get all the creases out before you start setting. So that's what I'm just. So I'm just gonna use my beauty blender to set my highlight in place. So right now I'm gonna use my face powder to just set my whole face in place, my foundation and everything in place. Next, I'm gonna move on with my contour powder to like just, if I'm gonna say set my contour in place, I don't know if that's the right word, but after using my creamy contour, I always like to go in with like a powder contour and then just set it in place. So I'm gonna be using this deep contour from my Luxy contour palette. So with this, I just go all over where I contour. It's not the whole face. And today, I just want to take these over my eyes. So you can see how the highlight and the contouring, brought back those features into our faces. So my face is now looking flat as it was when I just applied my foundation. So now it looks the way your natural face will look without a makeup. So I'm gonna move on to my blush. So for this blush today, I'm using my liquid blush from Shany. So I just put a little at the back of my hands and then use my brush to apply it. So now I'm gonna move on to my highlight. So for my highlight, I'm using my highlight from my warm up bronzer, the 4-in-1. 2. So my highlight is done. I'm gonna set my face with my Skindanivia makeup finishing spray. So we're gonna move on to the eyes, and I'm using my color book from Revolution. I think it's been a while since I used this, so let me decide what I want to do on my eyes today, y'all. So I'm gonna use this shade for my outer eyelids. Kind of like indecisive what I want to do on my eyes today, but let's see. So I'm gonna use my shader brush to use a shimmery eyeshadow at the center of my eyelids. So I'm just blending like 3 different shades at random for my center. Next, I'm gonna top it up. So next I'm gonna go in with the same shade that I used on my outer eyelid to just blend both colors together. That way it looks looking nice and even. So you all, my eyes done looking nice and pretty. So we're moving on to the lips right along. So today I'm gonna use this to line my lips first before I move on. Next, my lipstick. All right, y'all. So I went ahead and finished up with my lips, and this is the final look of this tutorial. So as you all can see, the highlight and the contouring is pretty visible. Like the center of my face, basically my T-zone area, is lighter than the outer portion of my face. So that's what your highlights and your contouring does to your face, bringing back all those features that your concealer stole, that your foundation stole, not your concealer. So you are that's all. If you like this video, as always, do not forget to leave your girl a massive thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for always stopping by, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.